Good day, future engineers. Today we are going to discuss the very last topics for the engineering and economics discussion. And this part will be divided into two discussions. First will be the continuation of decisions recognizing risk, and then the second segment or the second part will be focusing on the decisions admitting uncertainties. Our topic for the first part will be the decision tree fundamentals, constructing the decision tree, and then the discounted decision tree analysis. At the end of this discussion, you should be able to explain the concepts, purpose, and components of decision tree analysis in engineering decision making under uncertainty, construct and analyze decision trees by integrating decision nodes, chance nodes, probabilities, and expected values. So here you will be able to understand what is a decision tree, how you will be able to construct it, because the decision tree is divided into several parts, such as we have our decision nodes, chance nodes, probabilities, and then their expected values. Third is you apply discounted decision tree analysis by incorporating the time value of money in evaluating engineering alternatives. The third part is actually not a new one because in the previous discussions or in the previous topics before this one, you have already calculated the present worth of the cash flows, and that is just the application here, but we applied it in the decision tree instead of individually in the cash flow. And lastly, as with other engineering economic topics. For this, you should be able to recommend analytical, economically sound, and ethical engineering decisions when dealing with sequential decisions and uncertain outcomes. So let us just have a brief review of the previous topic. Um, what is expected monetary value? Why are probabilities important? And let's differentiate possible monetary outcome and expected monetary value, and why is the time value of money still relevant when outcomes are uncertain. So if you remember, the expected monetary value is the application of the last time in decisions recognizing risk. The expected monetary value is the expected money when the project when the risk is applied in the project, or we also call this the risk adjusted values. And then in the expected monetary value we apply probabilities. And if you remember in the AMV, we have several probabilities. You have several possible outcomes, and then the possible outcomes ranges from low to moderate or the expected, and then the high probability. The high possible outcome, and then their corresponding probabilities and their expected and their monetary values, and then you sum them up, you multiply it with their probabilities, and the sum of the product of their probabilities and their monetary outcomes, we call that our expected monetary value. And we know this is the concept in risk management and decision analysis to calculate the average outcome. This is just the average outcome of a future event that involves uncertainty. And why are probabilities important? Because probabilities quantify uncertainty. And again, in real life scenario, the not everything is actually known with certainty. There are uncertainties. And when making final decisions, we rarely know exactly what will happen. And the probabilities are allows us to weigh how likely different outcomes are, which guides our decision making. And we have also this word, the possible monetary outcome and the expected monetary value. So when we say the possible monetary outcome, this is the actual amount of money that you will gain or lose in a specific scenario. For example, if you succeed in a project, you will probably earn, let's say, 10 million peso. And if it fails, you lose, let's say, 2 million peso, something like this. These are the possible monetary outcomes. And AMV is just again, the weighted average of all possible outcomes. For example, the probability of succeeding is zero point 0.6 and the probability of failing is zero point 0.4. And then the AMV is just the product of the probability times its outcome. So that is 10 million times the 60% probability that it will happen. And the expected monetary value for this one is actually 5.2 million pesos. Again, the EMV is the average weighted average of all the possible outcomes. And when we say possible monetary outcome, this is the individual outcome, the actual or tangible amount of money that you will gain or lose um, for a specific scenario. And then, why is the time value of money still relevant when outcomes are uncertain? Because the time value of money states that the money available today is worth more than the same nominal value in the future due to its potential earning capacity. Because even though future cash flows are uncertain, they must still be discounted to their present value before making decision. All right, let's have a case. So there is a contractor and the contractor must decide whether the contractor should submit or not for a major bridge project. Now, when you submit, there are several things that you need to do. What? You need to have some engineering studies. You are going to make quantity takeoffs, scheduling, and of course, the bid document preparation itself. Now, in the when the contractor submits a bid, there is a probability that the contractor will win or the contractor will lose. All right. So if the contractor wins the project, there is a probability of encountering favorable average or poor site conditions, and each affecting project profits. These are the probabilities that will happen in a project. Let's say the contractor wins, and there are several probabilities that might happen. The site conditions might be favorable, good weather, the site conditions might be average, just the typical site conditions, or poor site conditions. And each of these events or scenario will affect the outcome of the project, the profit of the project. And the actual probability will depend on site conditions, material price movement, productivity, and construction delays. Possible outcomes include high project profit. When you win, uh, possible outcomes might be there is a high project profit for that. It can be moderate or low, right? Or project loss and failure to win the contract. These are possible outcomes in a project. You either win or not, and if you win, the project might have a high profit, moderate or low, or project loss. And we cannot see this in the future. We cannot know for certain the future if we're going to win the contract or not. If the contractor will have a high profit, a moderate profit, or low or project loss. And this is important to know, to understand, because you are making a decision before submitting a bid. The contract must decide, or the contractor must decide before the actual outcomes are known. This is what generally happens in engineering. We decide when the actual outcomes are known, before the actual outcomes are known. And how can engineers organize these sequential decisions and uncertain outcomes systematically? So how can we arrange this? Actually, this is a sequential decision. When we say sequential, there is a series. For example, will the contractor win or lose? Right? And if he wins, what will happen? So on and so forth. There are several things that will happen. These are sequential, these are in series. And we know that this problem cannot be represented by a single expected monetary value table when decisions and uncertain events occur sequentially. That's why what we're going to do is we build a decision tree. So again, many engineering decisions are not made only once. Again, many engineering decisions are not made only once. What does it mean? That engineers make a series of decisions when new information becomes available. So what do we usually do? Actually, we make initial decisions. All right? We make initial decisions, then afterward observe new information. And then based on that new information, we make another decision. This is a typical sequential process in actual scenario. Example, conducting a geotechnical investigation before selecting a foundation. So there is a series here. You need to have a geotechnical investigation, and then afterwards you can select your foundation. Or repairing equipment and later deciding whether to replace it. This is a sequential decision. And then submitting a construction bid and later selecting a construction method. So you submit a bid and you either win or lose, and when you win you select later what is your construction method. Constructing an initial facility and expanding if it demands increase. These are in sequence, right? You construct first, and if the demand increase, then you expand. Now, a decision tree represents the chronological relationship among decisions, uncertain events, and economic consequences. And decision trees help engineers visualize and evaluate these sequential decisions. In in the next video, we are going to start our discussion or formal discussion on the decision tree. What is a decision tree? All right.